All right, everybody. Happy Monday. Big shout out to the chat. Go, go, go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's do it. Another week. We're back, everybody. Let's not joke around. First day of spring. Happy spring solstice, if you recognize that kind of a thing. Cyclically, it happens in the markets. Happy Harmonic People Day. Let's call it a Harmonic People Day. Kind of feeling that vibe, folks. How's everything else going on? Everybody in the chat. Good morning, Miss Stephanie. Yes, I need to contact you. I'm will do very soon. Everybody else, great to see everyone back. Today is March 21st. We're here live 3 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, a little after 11:30. So get with Harmonic Trader. Go to harmonictrader.com, become a basic member, and then subscribe on the YouTube channel there. Get with the software, get the books, everything's free. Get started for free, folks. Everything is there. And then the Discord. Great group. Awesome. Appreciate everybody who's actively engaged, and I think it's been a great resource for everyone. We really, I think it's the connections and the quality of content, not from me, from other people. The people that have learned a lot. I have seen a lot of progress from people, and then they turn around and start posting fantastic charts and explaining it to other people. Say, hey, what's going on with this pattern? And people say, oh, it's a type 1 reaction, and they understand that now. So thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. A quick question out of the chat. Do I take coin requests? Right now, no. If you're a gold member, you can ask anything you want. And that's part of what we're doing. We're rolling that out. Gold membership last week, this week. So if gold members, fire away. Other people, we will do something, I think, later. Maybe some kind of a stream element tip thing. But I have a few ideas of how I want to structure that. So again, for now, what I'm going to do is run through some markets, and then I will probably go through the group. So if I don't catch your exact crypto, I'll probably get something close, but pop it up, put it in the chat, and I'll get back to it. A couple of the things that we need to address immediately. Lots of patterns, lots of reactions, 4-hour daily that have really completed and have been kind of dictating the last several days. We see Bitcoin amazingly came to that 42,000 with the beautiful bat pattern, bearish bat on the 4-hour. And we have already gone through a type 1 reaction on this first corrective pattern off of the low. So what are we going to see going forward? A lot of people were hoping for that breakout to get it above, 43,000, get it somewhere. But not yet. And I still say it's about the other coins. Bitcoin's fantastic. And I think, sure, I have a little Bitcoin. Not a lot. I have a little. But again, for crypto, my take on it is speculation, capitalizing on the beautiful harmonic patterns, the crypto harmonics, maybe as it has been referenced before, crypto harmonic patterns, and utilize, really leverage and ideal or favorable risk reward parameters to identify great trades. That's what we have been dealing with in terms of the total crypto space. From an analytical perspective, just a lot of reactions within a shrinking zone. This Bitcoin current bat pattern, okay, we know the deal. We know we're still going sideways within this larger range. So we'll look at total crypto market cap in a second. Welcome, new people. Thank you. Yes, actually, more and more new people have been reaching out. It's been great, and I appreciate that. I know there's a lot of other people teaching my work. Harmonic patterns are my work. So if you want to learn about harmonic patterns and you want to know where it came from, please you start here. And it's interesting that a lot of people don't know that there are books even where this all came from. These are the 4 books that I wrote over the last 20 years that you can get for free as PDFs as a basic member. And then all of the rules and even the foundation ideas that I cite from technicians from decades ago. I mean, look, this was a lot of adaptation of Elliott wave style concepts, retracement, extension measurements. So shout out to you, Steve. Thank you for being saying hi and welcome. The other people that are asking about the software and absolutely just access all the information is on this basic member page. And all of the resources are designed in one spot for you to access. So take the time to go through the entire page, look at the links, look at, just investigate a little bit. A lot of the answers you may have initially will probably be answered through one of those links. Appreciate that. Hey, Arun. I appreciate that. Thanks. Harmonic Tribe. Exactly. Excellent. James, how are you? Appreciate it. Welcome back. So let's talk about the Bitcoin type 1 reaction and how it's going to relate to this week. And the other thing, folks, we want to think about not only the end of the month, end of the quarter, we will be starting a new quarter, a new month next Friday. So a week from Friday is going to be a kind of the beginning of the next chapter, if you will, of what I call the malaise in all markets. And it doesn't have to be bad. It's just not going to be as friendly as we saw last year. If anything, kind of the opposite. So Bitcoin for now, again, is going to remain in larger consolidation zone for right now, for today until we come back tomorrow. We'll look for the retest of the bat pattern. Your target 1 level for Bitcoin was at 40,548, and you reversed exactly off that level. This arrow tells you HSI for now, that reaction that came off the top, done. We're already starting the return phase. Now, look for either the hop test or the next HSI, somewhere up in here. HSI is this bottom indicator, harmonic strength index. That's our proprietary indicator that we use for essentially confirming harmonic patterns as opportunities. It's the best way to think about it. So that has a little ways to go. Bitcoin, all right. I look at the sessions from last week. You have to zoom out. This is not a situation where if in doubt, zoom out helps you because you're getting squeezed. But we could go sideways for a while. We could go sideways and grind for 6 more months before you do anything. And it's against this downtrend from past, really that 5-month downtrend from November. We broke out in February. You came back. This is where you do have some Wyckoff style setup of a broken trend line. You're trying to retest the top of that downtrend. And now give me something here. You're building. From a harmonic perspective, we want a W formation. Give me some kind of pattern or breakout that could lead to something larger against the all-time trend or all-time high. For right now, we're not there. And again, as long as Bitcoin stops breaking down and stops taking out prior lows, which it did last week, then you have a great environment for altcoins. So look at that downtrend. Take a look at the prior lows. I said this last week, 38,000. Under 38,000 is probably your long-term stop. Because if we can't get out of this lower zone, essentially there, 37.5, you will break down. This will be just kind of a dud move, and you will take 6 months. Which I think you still could take 6 months even in a good scenario. You just need to see something. Can I have a higher low that does a breakout and starts to develop a W formation? James says that we're in a Wyckoff accumulation. We could be starting it. We very well could be starting that. But this is the overall strategy. Of course, we want to look at Bitcoin, and we'll go to total crypto market cap. But what we want to look for are plays like this. LRC and other altcoins that are going to do some kind of a move and start taking shots. Here's LRC. We looked at this as kind of a dud for a while, and it finally did like a 20, almost 30-cent move off the low. Ran in right to an HSI. That's fine. But this could even be the start of something better, because if we blow it up in the zone, it looks like this. You have some kind of W breakout for the first time. Get above that B point at 89 cents. Okay, structurally, that's the first time you've made a higher low against a major pattern. It has been a dud reaction, but now the fact that this has stabilized, that's definition of stabilization. A point, B point settles in. C point, you have a breakout. That's called a BAM breakout. Come back. Now look for this to do the pop up to 90 to about 120, 115. That's just a reaction play out of the zone. But those are the kind of larger percentage plays in altcoins that I think are going to give you a better opportunity. Here's another one. The layer 2 stuff, right? These layer 2, here's KNC. This is another one that this is moving. That one really exemplifying the kind of behavior we want to see. And KNC definitely has the BAM breakout set up. Your B point at a 40%. C point almost perfect 886. You take out the B point there, then that goes to complete your bat pattern at just shy of $4. The beautiful thing is that this breakout, once it triggers, which it did a couple of weeks ago, still gave you plenty of time. I'm going to go to the daily chart, and it's kind of like LRC is right now. Shoot the gap up to the 886. That's how we develop some kind of idea of where the thing could go on this move, just simply by connecting dots. That's a weekly chart. Look at the daily. Daily did the same kind of a thing, actually failed a bearish pattern after the retest. So here's that first breakout thrust, comes back, and then you go. That's where we are with LRC. Okay, breakout thrust, and you have a BAM breakout, a clear bat pattern, bat action magnet move. Come back, retest that zone, and then let's start to go. A lot of these altcoins are in a really nice spot. I still say it's about time. This is a whole situation about time, not so much price. And what I mean by that is we're looking for spots in this depressed area. If it's LRC, take a look at longer term LRC chart. I mean, this is one of these really a massive crypto that did a huge surge, full reset, meaning come all the way up, go from 30 cents to $3, then do a full 886. And let's get the 886 right. It's like this. $886 on LRC, right on the money at 78 cents. And we're just basing, going sideways, finally triggered the first time. Structurally, let me take that away. We know that this recent breakout's the first time that has triggered a potential W formation to stabilize in that zone and get some kind of BAM breakout to go higher. Let's keep an eye on LRC this week. Yeah. Overbought on the daily, but we're just looking for a pullback and looking at that next pullback. This could go over the next 30 days or 15 days, go sideways, give us that pullback, and register one more time in this longer zone, which is around 78 cents. Again, 80 cents, anywhere underneath there. The other one is that fits that whole level 2 thing, same category. Here's Ren. I think this is early. I think this is starting to show signs. This was a massive butterfly on the daily. That's the Binance feed. Your XA level at about 31 cents has been retested. And we would look at this as a type 1 reaction where your target one is at 67, 75, 68 cents basically. Now, on that now. Hey, Jordan. Jordan's saying Matic has the same deal. It's a bat. It's a type 2. I'll take a look at that. There are a bunch of these larger daily patterns that are 2 of 2. What was that? Daily? That was daily. Oh, on a 2-day. So maybe a little bit longer term. I mean, this one has a couple really nice bearish patterns. The weekly. Let me see. There was that's your all-time Matic chart. There was another one, maybe it was Mana. Yes, Mana, the 4-hour time frame had this big bat, type 2 bat. Again, another one taking its time, but perfect position. So Mana did a type 1 reaction all the way back in February. Came back down more than a week ago, grinding, and the 220 level is it. Only at 243. I would have that on your chart. This thing could easily be back to the target 2 level off of a successful type 2 reversal. Look for that kind of response off the pattern, off the secondary test of the pattern. One or two more. Where is XRP? XRP is just steadily climbing, grinding higher. The weekly time frame, again, is it's just a bar over bar consideration, and you want to pay attention if you're in XRP. Let's go. It's this one. Where is that? It's a weekly bat pattern. It's a type 2. There it is. It's on the tether pair. This is something where, despite the fact that it's not on the spot price, it's on the tether pair. It's still valid. That's why I look at multiple feeds. But for this, the whole situation with XRP, no matter what the eventual judgment, announcement, SEC ruling will be, we know that once we take out that prior high at 90 cents, this is going to go into the full type 2 reversal at 138. And nothing has changed on this. This has been the same deal for the last several months that we've been talking about it. There's the reaction. We had a successful retest, if not two. Your XA level at 55.70, 55.7 cents, has held firm since January. So that's likely the pivot low for, I think, before we get to target 2. Price action just climbing week over week. That's what you want to see. The other, let me go to this Monero. Was it Monero or was it Zcash? A lot of the privacy coins recently were doing things big time. At least getting off of getting out of the hole that they've been in. Here's Monero. And I still say there's plenty of time on this. This is the perpetual contract, perpetual swap contract. Simply bottoming, stabilizing at this big 1618. So from that last rally, impulsive move back in October, your 1618 is right there at around 159. And did a little reaction. Now, this is not a type 1 full reaction because target 1 at 200 wasn't hit. Now, it was hit here, and I think we mentioned this last week. We come back one more time to that 159 level on Monero. That would be the final end all for the whole structure. Let's keep an eye on it. Those group of coins are definitely moving. After not looking great beginning of the year, Zcash is the other one. Zcash was an 80 something back in January. So I think there's a bat pattern. There's a crab pattern right now. That's amazing. That's the kind of move where, an altcoin running from 90 to 180 in less than 4 weeks. That's the kind of bigger trade I think you're going to find in the altcoins. Think about how on a percentage basis, low to high off of that, just the move from February 24th. You're talking 110, 115% move. And now we are go pattern to pattern. That's the other thing to consider, where sometimes you get all of the patterns on the chart and it could be overwhelming. One way to think about it is just ask yourself, what are the last couple of terminal bars, meaning where's the completion point as noted by that round sun icon. And what should we be thinking after that point? We're here on the bearish completion. All right, the opportunity, we start looking to the right of that terminal bar. And your last terminal bar, this for Zcash, was an ideal type 1 reaction and then failed on the secondary test, essentially failing about here. But for right now, let's just look for the reaction. We'll get another opportunity on Zcash back at the target 1 level because it's still a type 1 reaction, which is a nice thing about lining up corrections within the larger trend, because usually this first reaction will be pretty swift and give us something down at that level, some kind of HSI trigger, maybe another pattern. And that's what we'll look for. I mean, it's 35 lower from current levels, but it's no different than Luna from a couple weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. Here's Luna. Perfect crab pattern that was, let's go back here. Yep. Same kind of a deal that we're seeing in Zcash and a few other coins that are hitting big bearish patterns. We outlined this Luna situation. It was a crab up at 95. It did the type 1 reaction. Target 1, 75.43. And then just shot right back. So that's the setup I would look for in a lot of these, where you get a type 1 reaction, you're in a larger uptrend, let it hit target 1, and we can shoot the move back to retest the zone. We're seeing that again and again, and with Bitcoin at least grinding higher, the ones that are the altcoins that are moving will continue to do this. Let me show actually one other one. Same deal. Sand. Here's sand. Big crab pattern on the 4-hour. This one did a type 1 reaction actually on the daily. There you go. On the daily, I knew it was, this was the setup. Big bat pattern. And I think sand is another one like mana to get on the screen. It finally did a couple of structural things last week where it's trying to bottom at the XA level. Here's the big bat pattern off of the November low, and the metrics are there. So that's something else to consider, that even though it's not an all-time high to low, it's still valid. And your 886 at 278 is the number. Now, I think I outlined this where, if it wasn't last week, it was the week before, just looking for a reaction and then comes back, hits your XA level, and stabilizing. Let me highlight these lines. Change the color. We're working with the TradingView version of Harmonic Pattern Collection, and this a free trial is available to everybody. So take a look at getting with this program if you're not using it already. Let me change the zone line color. There you go. Oh, let me change the terminal bar, because I'm not seeing that as well. And that's I want to highlight that. That's sand right there. So if you want metaverse action, we start looking in this area. Um, Not the nicest of structures, but we did start to form the W on the retest. Looks like this. There's your extreme low, your B point. Now we did a full retest, almost 100%, like 96, 98, and now broke out of a 3 bar high. Once we get above that 346, 350 level, that shoots the gap not only for target one but higher possibilities. Big part of this is the fact you do have not only that pattern, you have the secondary test, a lot of things in this low level that want me to pay attention to that $3 278 level. Big stuff. There's a lot going on in crypto in terms of this kind of consolidation that is meaningful and important, that precedes larger possibilities, I'll say. We need to see a couple of smaller structural formations against the pattern, especially a secondary retest that will get you in a position to launch. Not there, but pretty close. What was the other? There was one other one I'll bring up. I think that's it. Basic attention token. Yeah, this is full type 2. Now, this might take more time because on the daily, last week, went through type 1, type 2, and then last week was finally rallying off of this check back. It was perfect confirmation for the secondary test. That's a better opportunity down here, 30 something bars after the terminal bar. There's your initial pattern completion. Perfect reaction to target one. But that's the thing. If you're there the first time and you catch that kind of reaction, the success is going to be determined by how you respond to the management at target one. And it has to be reactive. If you see it hit target one and get rejected, chances are you're already in the type 2 return phase and you'll get another shot, which we did, where, okay, I'm down here at 60 something cents. That's the better opportunity because by definition, type 2 reversal has a target 2 level that we're shooting for at 115. We want to see confirmation in every type 2 reversal setup. I want to see harmonic strength index, which is this indicator, which we had. Look, it hit the XA level here on the 21st of February. Then, 3-4 days later, you register harmonic strength index to come out of the zone. Green arrow goes on. Okay, you're in business. Start looking to the right for that entry and continued progress, especially in your amplified reading where you had a green line stop and you start looking to the right. That means RSI BAM has been realized as well. Early, but it's behind the retest. And then as this makes progress out of the zone, that helps the case. So where are we now for BAT? We're gonna, let's see where we close. It's flashing the red arrow right now, but that won't be official until the close tonight. Keep your eye on that. There's a whole bunch of these. Let's go get into more of them tomorrow. Even some super speculative altcoins. I will get in some folks. If you guys bring a couple of those other S coins. I'll look at them tomorrow. Darren, I'll look at your. Darren, I'll look at you here. I'll do that for you really quick. Last one, because I know you wanted to see that before. I don't know anything about this, but I'll flash it. This is Spell. Oh, nice. All right. I mean, it's starting to run. Again, that's another one of these. This is the kind of thing I want to talk about tomorrow, because there are a lot of these that have done, let's say, 80 to 90% all-time corrections, and they might be a place to be speculating. I like to think of it this way. You always, in the market with these kind of super depressed possibilities, opportunities, are they junk or are they crap? Because I always want to buy junk. I never want to buy crap. That's a big difference. I'll talk about that more tomorrow. This might be crap, and then something like Cardano could be junk. Let's talk about that tomorrow. I do want to get into the other markets. Let's check in with where we are. All right, folks, Nasdaq's off 42. Crazy week. Let's jump over there. We'll come back to gold in a second. Crude oil, the obvious other commodity we need to discuss. Nasdaq sitting against this 4-hour shark. Now, there's several things happening as we speak that we probably need to pay attention to by the close today. We did register this shark pattern. And I'm going to increase the size of the terminal bar. Where'd that go? There it is. So let's make it 40. Right now it was set at 4. Better. On the Nasdaq futures, we completed the shark on Friday, I think at the close. You look at the sun icon, the shark pattern hit the the 1618 and 886 level. There you go. Right there. Friday morning. But we closed near the high, but no follow through today. Hitting your 1618 extension and your 886, that's the zone for the shark. We do consider the 113, but as long as the 886 and the 1618 are hit on the shark pattern, we're in business. So take a look. There's the 1618 level off of the A to B decline, and we're actually back-to-back patterns on the 4-hour chart. We had a crab pattern, and this really is a type 1 reaction off of last week's crazy rally. But now, for the first time, we have HSI bearish, extreme overbought, triggering at around what, 14,460. And the top end of this zone is around 14,425. So somewhere in here, we're looking for a rollover minimum for the shark to go back. Come on back here. Let's go do it this way. We're looking for the trigger of the type 1 reaction today into tomorrow. So I think it's pretty close, and you have to ask yourself, was last week a bear market rally? Or was it the start of something new? There's the weekly. Pretty remarkable bullish candle. And that matters. I mean, that is absolutely With this kind of decline, we want to look at prior highs because we're in a downtrend. But take a look. Pretty much like this is those are your trend line considerations. Are we going to come back and retest maybe the top end of this trend line and then go? The primary consideration really for Nasdaq and S&P are the daily charts with the patterns we discussed last week. Crab pattern. We fell about 60 points shy of the 1618 target. What are we going to do? Is this going to continue to move? Is that it? Because we fell shy of the 1618? And how do you treat those situations? They do happen. If you fall shy of your numbers, what are you supposed to do? You take no action. And I'll wait on Nasdaq and I'll treat that as just a reaction unless I see something really break out into Wednesday, Thursday. Okay, you would want to see this thing pretty much blast off of last week's lows. Let me get HSI in there. There you go. And HSI is hitting the overbought as of today, as of this morning. We'll come back tomorrow and see if that has triggered. It might take a day, but still thinking this is a reaction. That's it. I just don't have all of the metrics I want to see. I wish that 1618 would have hit, and I would have been real happy. At least on Harmonic Strength Index, we'll get a very clear sign by tomorrow. And amplified RSI is trying to break above your 50 and go back to the oversold or overbought. Just keep an eye on it. I would just assess this on the 4-hour time frame because we see so many back-to-back patterns. There's the 4-hour crab last week down at the 1618 was the exact low. I would think maybe we come back a little bit higher, check back on this bearish HSI on the 4-hour, and that's at 14,465. If that comes back, hits 14,465, you're 420 right now. Is 14,420. So another 45. Go and hit that zone. Oh, there you go. On the 5-minute chart, here's something else to consider. Been seeing a lot of 5-minute patterns giving us great levels on a just kind of intraday swing perspective. This has got from this morning, you have a bearish crab. And let me just show the last. Sometimes you can show all the patterns. Yeah, we don't want to show that. Right there, we have the setting for number of confirmed patterns to show. Currently, I'm showing it all. Sometimes it's just too much. Set it at 2 or 3. I might clean it up or go to 1. Show the last one. So nice deep crab. This is for today. Look at the hop level around 14,489 with a minimum retest. We already hit that at 450. That's the 1618. Keep an eye on that one. S&P 500 is all about the daily chart. Are we going to go under 4,000? Because I'm starting to think that under 4100 is not going to trigger some, it's not going to be a mild correction. And we do have a type 2 bullish shark pattern. Threatened to break down under 4100, but look, the first time that reaction was really nice. Ran right into target 1, full retest. And in case you missed it, the actual low on S&P futures was 04, 4104. The hop level was 4110. Fairly remarkable. That's not a coincidence, but we did go through kind of a complex reaction. That was the type 2 officially starts there. But you had a bearish HSI, so it sends you back down. Secondary retest. Not surprised that takes longer, but we're still, by definition, a type 2 move gets you to target 2 at 47.40. Let's see. HSI entered the zone today, so it would have to be an acceleration. I think if you're looking for that rollover move, if that's what's going to happen, you got plenty of time. I'm just, I'm really not too concerned about these kind of markets. There are some patterns in some of the tech stocks. We talked about some of the larger other, well, here's a stock that we don't talk too much about, but it came to my attention last week. Berkshire Hathaway, folks, broke out to all-time new highs. I thought that was pretty interesting. And something where we want to pay attention to individual stocks like this. There's your weekly. Take a look at the weekly chart on Berkshire. Class A shares. Now trading at $524,330 a share. What is it? Well, I would say now it's a failed type 1 crab pattern. There's your terminal bar, and at least you got the harmonic pause. Pretty remarkable. But that's all it did. So from last April until end of November, you go sideways right at the 1618, and then you break out like this. That's pretty strong. I'm not going to deny that. I want to pay attention to it because on the weekly time frame, HSI is back in the zone, amplified on the weekly, back in the zone. If this really gets moving and does a week over week kind of explosion, I would not want to dismiss that as something potential for the larger market. So let's be aware closely of situations like that. And here's the other one. Amazon.com, probably one of the best tech to be really positioning off of. Daily crab pattern, perfect type 2. You did your reaction back in February, came back. Now we are headed straight for target 2 after that breakout. If we get something that really explodes, and this would be for this week, let's say amplified basically explodes, goes up to 3360. That could hit this week. I wouldn't be surprised. HSI is actually breaking out above the 100, above that teal line. That's pretty significant. That's a pretty strong read. I want to watch and see what happens on the inflection, but for now, this is a daily chart. Probably need 2 or 3 days. I'd be interested to see where this is come Thursday. for now, and tomorrow I'd still look up. One or two more. Advanced micro devices. Let's go to, where's the weekly? Oh, I think this was Nvidia. Let's look at Nvidia. Chip stocks. Yeah. So Nvidia had a massive, this green arrow, that's your weekly HSI. And chip stocks like Nvidia are in a multi-year, if not longer, uptrend. So let's not overcomplicate it. Let's go with the strongest. HSI triggered, and we have a bullish engulfing. I would start looking at this. It's going to take time, but you could be at a point of continuation with something like that. Definitely want to focus on some of these trending stocks that have done a pullback. That's it. It's not like Facebook. Although, Facebook, our big target was 165. It still is. But that's in a completely different relative position. I think this is a crab pattern, right? Yep. We are generating a crab pattern on Facebook, Meta platforms, excuse me. But I'm not surprised to see this thing take longer. I haven't triggered this yet. I'm not the all-time, excuse me. This swing 886 is at 165. It's like right there. So I'm not quite there yet. I don't think that's nearly the same relative position as, say, an Amazon or Nvidia. All right, one or two more. Hey, let me do the Dash, and we'll do the other ones, those other altcoins. We're going to do a big alt session tomorrow. We definitely need to focus on stocks. How are they going to finish up going in the end of the quarter? Are we going to get a rally? We're going to get a relief rally with Berkshire Hathaway running to all-time new highs. I'll look at ASML. 1 second. There you go. ASML. Weekly HSI. Bullish. It's fairly bullish, folks. What's the daily say? Nice. ASML. Beautiful butterfly. Now, not a real nice reversal. This is kind of the structure is great. The response is, or the reaction, fairly ugly. Looks like this. Your terminal bar, that big sun icon, okay, basically at 645, 644. Here's the zone. That's the official completion point for the pattern. But all of our assessments start to the right of that candle. I think this is something, based on some of the questions I've received in the last week or so, we want to look to the right and looking for triggers to the right of that sun icon, which is like right there. And that would be the first point where we could say, okay, confirmation, back in the zone. And then somewhere in the zone, I would start looking for executions. In this case, you probably got stopped out of that. You spent the better part of almost 30 bars before you did fail. Now, what's that going to do? I mean, that's just a tough situation. There's better opportunities, but if you're in that, it's still just a target one reaction. It's an ugly reaction. The butterfly is a little tricky. I will say that. The butterfly PRZ and the Gartley PRZ has to respond, I think, more so than has to demonstrate that reversal behavior within a few bars, more so than a crab or a bat. Keep an eye on it. Okay, let's jump to crude oil. What are we going to do with crude oil? There's CVX on the daily. Crude oil, folks, was up another, $6 today. What are we doing with it? How high is this going to go? And the fact that we have responded already, which is a fairly good sign, meaning we rebounded. There's the all-time 886 that we talked about. Now, we never got to the 382 move. It looks like this. 1 second. Here's the weekly. There it is. So there's the weekly. That's the all-time, just to refresh everybody's memory. Again, off of the 2008 peak. And I don't think there's really any other level with the spot futures price to consider other than 125. If we see this above 125 sooner than later, that larger scenario will get triggered now, meaning breakout of the all-time prior high on the future spot. We've already seen it in some of the other contracts. For example, the June contract of this year, it did break out to all-time new highs and then came off. Looks like that. But that's still going. I don't, that's not what happened last week. Was just kind of a massive profit taking after a historic move at a number. I mean, at a really defined, beautiful harmonic level, the all-time 886. Here's the December contract. Now, I will say this, and one of the things I hope to do by Thursday is to bring out some spread charts. Start looking at front month versus back month on crude oil and other contracts, because this is something I'm absolutely astonished by. The fact that you have the front month, you have June, you have the continuous contract trading at around 115, but December is trading at 92, 93, not even close to $100. And what that means is that people don't think this, at least the market, has not priced in what is currently happening to the back months, to the longer term time frames. And the futures contracts on the New York Mercantile, they can go out a couple of years. And you're not going to have really great data, but there's December 23. And that's pricing December 23, meaning you get delivery for it in December of 2023, but that's only priced at 82. Something going on there. That does not really link up with the current spot price. And I'm going to show that on some charts later this week. The spread levels are at extreme points where either the futures has to come in or these back months have to start to catch up. One or two more. I'll take some questions. And I know, look, the people that are that have influence on the policy in the United States are not doing anything to change current conditions. And I don't want to get into anything more than just say, let's focus on the patterns. Because I think everything that we do in these discussions has to stick to the levels and the framework of the patterns. Of course, we can talk about some of the other obvious situations going on, but I want to look at things like we're dealing with now on crude oil. Here's XLE. This is the energy ETF. We are at the completion of this deep crab, but it's failing. And we triggered HSI last week. So we've been overbought for a while. Look, there's the last overbought signal on HSI. But amplified is still in the overbought. And what we might see is, looks like this wants to do, maybe comes up and then goes down for a complex structure and probably go again. Now, I don't think this target one at 47, you're trading 75. We'll have to, I don't want to dismiss anything, but I just want to label this for what it is. The first confirmation on a very sloppy, if not failed type 1. What really, if you're going to see this go higher and fail, continue to fail, it would have to do so by Friday. Be much higher than it is. Come a far way with the stocks. You look at stuff like ExxonMobil, just super strong. But on the weekly, ExxonMobil does have this M formation that just came out. HSI did trigger last week. Maybe we check back. I want to keep a close eye on this stuff. Not necessarily that it's going to be any kind of major correction, but we could pause, we could digest as we go into the end of the quarter. Let's see what happens. I think crude oil is about the retest of the all-time 886. We'll come back to that tomorrow. Look, that weekly number is everything, in my opinion, for commodities and how this responds off of that test. There you go. That's it. That's the all-time 886 is right there at 120.25, call it. Let's see how we are by tomorrow. Gold, folks. Gold is doing the same kind of a deal, but a little further along with a better pattern. Gold ran into its 1618. On the weekly chart, you had a crab pattern. There you go. So, absolutely remarkable 1618 reaction. That's all it is. That deep crab, you go back from, let's do it this way. So last summer's peak down to the August low set up this 1618 move. The 1618 was at 2068, was as high as 2078, gets rejected, straight to target 1. But no follow through. So we know it's a reaction. We know, and what we really need to see is HSI trigger somewhere down there. But the structural level of the type 1 move has been tested, satisfied. Is the type 1 reaction over? Maybe I really would prefer to see Harmonic Strength Index come down and hit that level and then go. It's not there yet. This could be a situation where you take more time. Maybe you go sideways for another 4 or 6 weeks and then look to start the march back up. That's what we want to look for. I think, that was a huge move, huge reaction. Here's the daily. This is GC. Okay. Same pattern. A little bit clearer with the daily deep crab. And actually, that's probably a better way to be looking at this. We will likely get Yeah, I would look for HSI to come down here on the daily, but 1925 that's target one number. And I would look for a retest, but it might be later this year. Maybe we make a hop run in a few months back to 2172. Still in an uptrend. A couple questions. Uh, Joe Joker's saying or asking how many of my trades are automated? Do I always take profit at the first target? What's the stop loss tolerance? Yes. All the trades that I'm taking have to have an automated pattern. Automated pattern and HSI. And then target one, target two, how to handle that, especially if it's a reaction. It's pretty firm. You might find yourself in a situation, I might find myself in a situation where I take partial, or if I don't get the follow through, especially crypto, you don't get follow through and it just, after a type 1 reaction, then scale out. Where's the BTC? I think this 4-hour BAT pattern is actually a pretty good example of that. What he's asking is, what are the parameters for what a trade that I would take? And yes, I'm always looking for an automated pattern to be generated. I'll check usually 1-2 time frames, sometimes 3. But I absolutely want to be responding to the automated levels. And that's something with this pattern. We're looking at the harmonic pattern collection for TradingView. I saw someone ask, is this available for TradingView? Yes, this is what we're looking at right now. And you can get a free trial to that. I'll go through that towards the end. But I would still be just following the type 1, type 2 framework. Bitcoin hit target 1 at 40,534. We don't have a harmonic strength index reading down here. Yeah, a little bit higher. Not really, though. That would qualify as the end of the type 1 reaction. But this is, when you reach that point, and I'm looking at a target 1, and it does something like this on an exhaustive move, but then you go to the next bar, and you have no follow through to the downside, like this one had, yeah, you're bailing out. This is the level where you're making the assessment. Tell me what happens 2, 3, 4 bars after the fact. Because this little check back move, even the fact that Bitcoin's rolling back over, that's the point of maximizing the reaction trade. It's probably the best advantage of capitalizing on reactions. You've got plenty of opportunities. You can always get back in, and then you're not. I think the common thing is that when you do respond to these target 1 levels, what you find is that you're in, you're out off the reaction, and you're not screwing around with consolidation. And I think the reaction trade is something where you don't want to go through consolidation like this. You want to see, this one had it. This, look, HSI arrow comes back, checks back beautifully. Up at this XA level, if just above 42,000, that's where your focus is. And you're looking around XA for that target 1 move. So if you capture that, it kind of looks like you capture this zone from there to there, your job is done. Or you capture 80% of that, your job is done. So be aware of that from a kind of an anticipatory perspective, that the reaction move immediately after a pattern is completed is just involves being aggressive once you hit your levels. You just don't screw around. If you find yourself at a target 1 level and it's not continuing lower or in that direction and you're waiting and waiting, well, that says something. And usually just scratch it out or scratch half of it out. Definitely. One or two more. Can we do RSI with, can we do an RSI BAM for TradingView? We will. Currently, so someone's asking about, this top indicator is the amplified RSI. That's available on TradingView as opposed to here for eSignal. We have amplified and standard RSI. So at the moment, no, but it could be something where we bring standard RSI BAM into what we do for TradingView. RSI BAM, that's the methodology of harmonic pattern confirmation that I've talked about for a long time. We've automated it, and all of that information is available here on your basic members page. And go to Harmonic Trading Volume 2. That has RSI BAM and a lot more. I mean, that's all about confirmation, and this also has the shark and the 5-0. But essentially, it's, we're looking at stuff like this, looking for two tests and a pattern. But we can use that with standard relative strength, but amplified RSI has been our hypersensitive indicator that is, just giving us greater insights to the zone. So more on that tomorrow. Let's talk, and we'll follow back on that tomorrow. So let's take a quick look. Where are we with Nasdaq rolling over again, folks? 135, almost 140. And tomorrow, it's really amazing. You see stuff like Nasdaq or Cathie Wood's ARK just getting pummeled. And then you see Berkshire Hathaway breaking out to all-time new highs. Unusual stuff. That's not normal in a broad-based recovery rally, if you will. And again, I think tech it's going to need more time, no matter what. Now, going negative on the day for actually on that candle for today of, yeah, I think here Nasdaq on the 4-hour chart. Again, look at what's the shark pattern doing. Now that shark's rolling over. That's what we started with today. We didn't get the check back on this bar. And I think we closed that candle in about, 7 minutes? Let me see. Here's the box. When does this close? No, that will close at 2. So that 4-hour candle will close in about an hour. And that might close under a 3-bar, actually 5-bar limit. That's a big reversal sign, folks. Do not dismiss that. Under 14.3 would clear out this whole zone. Yeesh. Looks like this. This is also the kind of thing we look for after a pattern completes. That's a substantial individual 5-bar reversal formation. And that's the kind of thing where you want to see in the zone a response. Clearly, look, terminal bar 1618 right in that zone is it's doing things. And this should set you off for at least a shark reaction back to 13,692. Let's keep it there for tomorrow. Let's see what happens there. If that can do a full reaction, The next 2 days, yeah, 13,692 is your target one level. Do I have a target at 10,000 on the Nasdaq? No, I don't. I don't, because everything about the Nasdaq and the S&P, and this is something for Thursday I was going to get into a bit more, kind of follow back on where we're going to finish for the week and possibly for the month on the long-term candles, monthly, quarterly, on the daily for NQ. This crab pattern is still dictating everything, in my opinion. And you haven't even established a higher low yet. You have just one reactive move off of a partial test of the zone. I would not be surprised to see this thing come back down. And I'm willing to let that go. I'm willing to let that break out to see if this will come back and hit the 1618. That's why I'm not too concerned about it. I'm not, even if it broke out, it would break out. And for the larger market, for equities to not get a totally take it on the chin, you would want to see that, but not. We don't even have a breakout yet. We don't have anything, any kind of construction. I think it's, again, the question is there anything long? What is there longer term on the Nasdaq? That's the question. What should we consider? How low could it go? There's your 10-year, decade-long chart. I've argued that there are numbers all-time 236, and there's a lot of numbers at that 12,900 level, which we almost hit. But I'm underneath here? No. Because if you want to talk 10,000 on the Nasdaq, I really think you're structurally, it's more about the 886 of the whole COVID run. If this is going to correct and keep correcting, because that's the only consideration I'm thinking about at the moment. I'm not thinking recovery. I'm not thinking massive move just yet on any of these markets, these tech stocks, whatever. Is there an opportunity there? Maybe, but to do some kind of acceleration, not yet. We did bounce off of, coincidentally, the COVID 382 was basically 13,000. There were a lot of things at 13,000. But there's nothing underneath there. And the other question is, what about the 618 off the COVID low? That would be there. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think how we end up into next week, next Friday, the end of the week, the end of the month, end of the quarter, it's going to tell us a great deal of, is that all there is, or is there going to be more? We'll talk about more of that tomorrow. Appreciate it, everybody. So I'm going to run out. Let's see what happens. Nasdaq now dropping 175, 180. Not surprised. 5-minute chart. Look at that. Remember that? We didn't come back and retest that full crab, but it hit the 1618. Look at the 60-minute. We'll come back here tomorrow. This is where we'll start. This 4-hour. It's still early, and look, I'm saying it now. 13,692. Talk to me in 24, 48 hours, but that seems to be what that's targeting. Down to target 1. So again, come on back tomorrow. We'll get into more crypto, altcoins tomorrow, and see how far this reaction takes us. Until then, have a great one. Go get them. And we'll see you around 11:30 Eastern.